Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Okay, y'all, they was really trying to hold me back. They was really trying to hold me back this morning. And when I say they, I'm not talking about nobody specific, y'all. Laptop wasn't charged. Okay, hopped in here, tried to go live on the laptop. Laptop died before I got ready to go live. Then I tried to pull up my notes. Storage was full. They really tried to hold me back. But you know what? I grabbed that ring light, left the ring light up, grabbed my tripod, and we are live off the phone this morning. Okay. Eyelashless and all. We are live because they was really trying to hold me back. So apologies in advance if the audio is not hitting for what it usually hits for. But I honestly think that the visual will be a little bit better off my phone versus my laptop. So first and foremost, y'all, it's so good to see y'all, okay? So good. I'm about to toast to us because I swear, y'all, I've only been gone for 1 week, but why does it feel like we haven't had brunch in like a month? 1 month. So, hey, in advance to my friends, those of y'all who joined early, you know we got to have like the casual conversation before we get into business. So, let me go ahead and look at these comments. Hey T, she said we about to light some people up. Let me go ahead and turn my phone on do not disturb before we get messed up. Cause I told y'all, they really tried me this morning. They like, oh, you skipped a week. Bet we don't know how to go live no more. That's what my laptop was saying to me. Okay, hey Jay, what's up, girl? Alicia, Sierra, man, y'all don't understand. It feels good to see y'all's names on the screen. Hey J Dub. Yes. Okay. So y'all comment, y'all tell me if the audio is good, if y'all can hear me clearly. So friends, since y'all are here, I gotta update y'all on the next coming weeks of my life. It's just like getting out of hand. So today is March 6th. I'm about to get married in about a month. Bridal shower is coming up on a Sunday, so that will mess with our brunch, but that's in a couple of weeks, y'all. So as things start to come up and I ain't gonna be here on my regular schedule, I'll be sure to let y'all know. If y'all want to see what I'm up to, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Now, there's another thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. There's another show. Old Lady Gang, or what? Candy and the Gang, which is coming on tonight on Bravo. We reviewing that, okay? It feels so good to talk to y'all on Sundays and then have a show for us to talk about on Mondays, because we were in for a good little kiki when it came to Portia's Family Mess. We would have brunch on Sundays, and then on Mondays I would review the show, and then y'all would call in and we would have conversations. So I plan on doing the same thing for Candy and the Gang. Maybe not on episode 1, who knows, if the drama is going to be hitting. But if y'all know Candy is going to make sure the people who she recruits, brings, gives, because Candy's all about her business. She's all about how to, get the most juice worth the squeeze by doing nothing, if you know what I mean. So I think we're going to have to see what Don Juan is up to, Carmen is up to, Aunt Bertha, and the rest of the gang. So look out for that tomorrow. But with that being said, y'all, I think we can go ahead and we're going to jump into Ladies Who List first. But don't worry, y'all, because I know y'all, a lot of y'all don't be checking for Ladies Who List. But the reason why I say don't worry is because literally the reunion hit for nothing. When I say nothing, the reunion hit for nothing. And Tanika Ray was the host. I haven't seen anything else that she was on other than that one time whenever she did the Ready to Love reunion for Tommy when he was out. And I was creeping on Tiana's Instagram. I love Tiana from this cast. Love her fashions, love her attitude, real down to earth, cool, chill, whatever. And and whenever I was looking at the comments, Tanika Ray was talking to Tiana, and she was like, oh, this reunion definitely needed more than one part. Where? Y'all tell me where that reunion needed more than one part. Like, I was ready for it to be over. I was ready for it to be over. In my opinion, I feel like Tanika didn't allow the conversations to develop the way that they needed to develop. Whether or not the ladies was gonna be on stage doing a bunch of yip yapping, arguing back and forth, she should have allowed for at least some of those moments to happen, so that way, production could edit. They was gonna do what they was gonna do anyway. So it was just odd to me how she jumped in. Even whenever somebody made a comment, okay? I think it was Crystal, when Crystal revealed to everyone that she was dealing with fertility issues, Tanika spoke in and was like, Kiana's not here, but you're her reflection. I'm like, Tanika, Kiana ain't here. Kiana didn't want to be here. We don't need to give Kiana a voice, especially from the hostess. Kiana don't need a voice because Kiana didn't want a voice. Don't know why Kiana quit the show. If it's for her mental health or whatever, cool. But I heard that it was because she felt like the show didn't put her in a positive light. That sounds like you thought you was going to be that girl on the show. You thought the show would incrementally help your business, and it probably has not, because, what we see of Kiana, and this is why Kiana I wanted to like her so bad. And it's not even, I won't even say that I completely disliked her. She just ain't for me, okay? Kiana is cute. Kiana dresses cute. Her and her husband try to give us the Black Barbie and Ken type thing going on. And whenever you follow somebody like that on Instagram, it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Double tap, comment, all that type of stuff, but girl boss, all that type of shit, right? But whenever you get into dialogue with them and you see how they act on TV, that could negatively impact your business, okay? So it probably wasn't giving what you thought it was going to give. It really didn't work in your favor, which is probably why you quit the show. But with that being said, Tanika, I don't think we need anybody to speak on Kiana's behalf. So let's go ahead and get into order of events. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the fashions, okay? We're going to talk about what the girls was looking like. For me, the only people worth talking about in the fashion category, well, it's easier to say who I don't want to talk about in the fashion category, okay? So, Kira, cute. That's all I have to say about Kira. Crystal, y'all knew Crystal was gonna come with something with a power shoulder, okay? Crystal, this is where I have to give her props. As much as I can't stand Crystal knows her body. Crystal knows how to create an hourglass illusion or fill the areas of her body where she feels like needs some proportioning, where she feels like, okay, catch my drift. Not where I feel like. But a power shoulder does her well. With the Chanel brooch, it was cute. Crystal, you look cute. The powder blue look cute. The makeup look cute. You look good, Crystal. Still can't stand you, okay? So Crystal was up there for me, but her outfit came to no surprise. She was definitely going to be wearing a power shoulder. Next, let's get into Robin. Okay, I liked Robin's hair. It was cute. I did not really care for the skirt at all. Wasn't like it was horrible. I didn't really care for the skirt. Loved the top part of the outfit. I think her hair was perfect with that fit. The way that it cut right above the collarbone. I love Bobbiana right above the collarbone. Robin looked good, but I didn't really care for the skirt. Now, Tiana, that's my girl. Love Tiana. Love the sleek pony. Love the rhinestone crystals dripping off the skirt, dripping off the top part. That's how you do a power shoulder. Okay. And this is where I see the difference between her and Crystal. Crystal, they both did power shoulders. So I'm going to compare and let y'all know why I favorite Tiana's over Crystal's. Crystal's to me was just very classic, boom, not very much. Felt like she had it in her closet. And, she just added the Chanel brush to dress it up a little bit more. Now, Tiana's, two-piece blazer had an extra to it. It had something about it that just said, like, fashion. And then with the face pulled back, effortless. I love Tiana. Now, Tiffany. I like Tiffany's pants. I like Tiffany's bun, but honestly, because it was so black, it was hard for me to tell exactly what was going on. But I do remember when I saw Tiffany's pants, she had the strip of like rhinestones going down the leg, and it was really cute. But it just really wasn't that memorable because it was all black. But it was cute. I really would like for Kira to get in line with the girls. The dress was cute, but just in comparison, it just didn't hit the same. And I think that taps into a little bit of that experience that Robin was talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this reunion. This ain't gonna take long because Tanika didn't even let the girls argue the way that they need to argue, or even, let's not even say argue, because I'm not sitting here just to hear the women argue. Tanika didn't allow the women to really just talk the way that they needed to. I'm just like, damn, Tanika, you need to like, I needed her to be a little bit more of a sideline type person. She did way too much regulating for my liking. And I'm just like, if you're gonna host, then host. But I need you to start regulating. Y'all give me a hot like 30 seconds. I will get a charger before this whole thing goes down. Ooh, it's zoomed in. But give me a hot 30 seconds, y'all. I will be right back. While I take that quick break, be sure to like the video. All right, y'all. I am back and out of breath because I was running around. I appreciate y'all for sticking around. The camera zoomed in. I don't know how to zoom it out, so y'all gonna be all up in my face today. Okay. So the reunion starts out, y'all, and the first thing that they want to address is Kiana's not here. Kiana decided to quit the show on social media. Our thoughts are with you, Kiana. And ladies, what are your thoughts on Kiana quitting the show? And high key, y'all, I felt like this conversation of Kiana leaving the show wasn't what it was supposed to be. Okay? It wasn't what it was supposed to be. Why Kiana quit the show? Nobody really talked about. Somebody quitting the show abruptly, nobody really wanted to talk about. We all know that they have some sort of contractual obligation to fill. So why is it that whenever she did quit the show, y'all didn't talk about it to the capacity that I felt like it should have been talked about? Okay, she didn't fulfill her contractual obligation. So is it something that y'all know that is a valid reason for her not showing up? Wish I knew. Okay. So, Little Miss Thomas, I'm right there with you. I hate whenever people don't show up to the reunions and we still have to talk about them. Don't even talk about them. Don't even talk about them. Jillian says no part of the reunion without Kiana. You know, honestly, I think they still should have had it, but a lot of the conversations that came about couldn't have even been finished. And I also feel like that's why Crystal gave no fight. Y'all tell me if y'all noticed that dynamic. Crystal and Kira gave zero fight this reunion. Versus if Kiana was gonna be there, it definitely would have been a little tussle, because you know how you girls like to tussle. It would have been a tussle, but you gave no fight. So Tiffany and Kira both have cute answers for Kiana not showing up. You know, they're sad about her showing up, but it just is, you know, what it is. So the next thing that they end up talking about is basically them climbing the ladder in real estate. And Tanika asked a question that I wanted to know the answer to. Whenever the season first started, I wanted to know if a lot of these women succeeded because of who they knew, like how much of who they knew factored into their success. Because your average real estate agent isn't just, I know it's a struggle to get into that $1 million home real estate arena. So for me, I was wondering, you know, Kira's boyfriend, whose home burnt down, was he an NFL player? And then they let us know that Tiana's husband was an NFL player. So they asked her how that aided in her success. Love Tiana's answer. Tiana was very clear about what needed to be said. She said, my husband assisted in my journey, but he did not put me on. So I definitely understand that. You know, I definitely understand that. I'm just glad that she admitted that her husband assisted in her journey, but I'm just like, okay. I kind of wish that question would have been more towards Kira. Because there's one thing that we didn't get to talk about at all was who was this mystery boyfriend who she had the home with, the home burnt down. The only person who she talks about, you know, getting it out the mud with is B. Simone. But we really don't know, you know, how else you were put on to start selling homes in the $1 million arena. We know that you moved to Atlanta making $10 an hour. We know all that. But real estate is all relationship building. So it had to be somebody who you met at some point in time who basically set it off for you. So, yes, Kay. Kay says, Tanika made it mostly a woe is me get together for Crystal. Say it again. To me, the reunion was pointless. Pointless AF. That's why we're going to move on to the next topic. So the next topic was Crystal and Robin. They wanted to know why Kiana, you know, Kiana had beef with Robin. Crystal obviously knew about it and never told Robin. We never got a clear answer on why exactly Crystal did it. Crystal, her explanation was just like, Rob doesn't react well to being challenged. Okay. Tanika never doubled down and got a clear answer on what was going on. If y'all want to be all the way real, the interview that Ooh Ladies First panel did with Robin was much more revealing than this mess that we spent an hour looking at on TV on Friday night for me yesterday. But I'm just like, whatever. So the next thing that they talk about is the hit, the boom, the pat, whenever Robin hit Crystal on the arm. And a lot of the ladies said that they never even noticed it until they saw it on TV. Crystal's argument was, why were people more concerned with the triggered word rather than the actual physical assault, if you want to call it a physical assault? Now, a lot of people said they didn't see it. To me, y'all, okay, if we want to look at it from this point of space, Robin was wrong for putting hands on Crystal. Okay, point blank, period. That seemed worse. But the reason why I can't find myself getting more upset at Robin is because I know I would have done the same thing. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong for feeling that way, but at least I can admit to y'all why I see things the way that I'm seeing it. I probably would have done the same thing, and that's just me. So Tiana to me, even though she's beautiful, level-headed, a lot of the time that Tiana and Tiffany both spoke on the stage, to me, it seemed a little bit like a monologue. To me, it seemed a little bit theatrical, even down to Crystal. Crystal, Tiana, and Tiffany were both theatrical AF, in my opinion. So whenever they talk about Tiana chiming in and standing up for her, Tiana goes, I'm glad y'all see what I see. I'm glad y'all see what I see. So Tiana, she goes into this long, speech about, I would never stand and watch someone be bullied. I don't stand up for bullying. I would never, da, 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 da. And I think it had to be the editing. It had to be the editing because it seemed as though they were having a chill conversation. They said, good job. Shout out to you, Tiana, for standing up, for Robin. And then all of a sudden, Tiana is just like, boom, like guns are blazing. It was theatrical. Okay. So yeah, like I said, apparently nobody saw the hit. The next thing that they end up talking about is Crystal starting this t-shirt business. To me, it's played AF. To me, she definitely was trying to copy what Evelyn was doing on Basketball Wives when she had the non-motherfucking factor t-shirts. It's been done before, girl. As many homes as you sell, as much money, or not sell, as many closings as you do as an attorney, I don't think that the $20 per t-shirt was probably even worth it. But Crystal's explanation as to why she made the not easily triggered t-shirt was that she's a business-minded person and she comes from a family of beasts. Okay. So next, y'all, they start talking about Robin and Kira and the beef that they had. Apparently, this is one of the things where I felt like you had something their own. Even though this reunion show didn't give us not a thing, you had something when you could have expounded upon Robin and Kira. So Robin and Kira, y'all know we're not getting along, okay? We didn't exactly know why. When it was presented to us on the show, they made it seem like it was about an unfollow on Instagram. Kira lets us know that Robin said to her, how many dudes did you have to get to where you are? And to me, I'm like, ooh, she said that. So then Kira explains that Robin had a breakdown on Instagram. Kira thought that Robin was going to do something harmful, so she reached out to her. As soon as Kira said breakdown, Robin literally threw a temper tantrum. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a temper tantrum. She stands up like she wants to fight. She's like, stop saying that. It's not a breakdown. It wasn't a breakdown. It wasn't a breakdown. But Robin, from what we're seeing on this stage, it feels like you're having a hissy fit or a temper tantrum or something that is adjacent to a breakdown. So what was irritating me was that through Robin's reactions, we never were really able to get through a clear conversation about what actually happened. What did you post on Instagram? What did Kira say on Instagram? What does this have to do with what we seen on the show? Never got an answer for it. So either way, Tanika ends up saying, oh, okay, well, sit down, because whenever Robin stands up, what's about to go on. Little comments like that is giving me very much a viewer, very much a fan. And Tanika, whenever you review these shows, I need you to come and not make so many comments as if you're a viewer. I felt like that's probably why you allowed Crystal to speak, because you knew that Crystal and Kira were missing the backbone, which was Kiana. So I don't know. Tanika then says, well, just do yoga, Robin, because don't you love yoga? And Robin says, don't patronize me. Whatever. So next, y'all, another thing, Crystal didn't realize that Robin's mental health was an everyday issue. Very low key, y'all. I believe her. But it's just funny that all this season, Rob has been your sister. Rob has been your best friend. You've told your therapist that. You told your mom that. You told your dad that. Everybody we know, Rob has been your best friend. You told Tiana to stay out of your business because Robin was your best friend. And if you want to use the best friend card to disrespect her, why is it that you didn't know about your best friend's mental health challenges when she's been clear as day about that on the show? So the reason why I believe Crystal is because, simply put, they're not best friends. They're not best friends. Crystal was using this faulty best friend card the entire season. So do I believe that Crystal didn't know about Robin's mental health? Yes, I believe it, because they're not best friends. All right. So next, y'all, we talk about Crystal's pursuing Kira for business. This is whenever Crystal goes on to explain that she comes from a family of beasts, that her daddy got money because he invested in Apple, yada, yada, yada. Good for you, Crystal. Okay, good for you. But your behavior is snake-like. And if you ever put that on your family and was like, oh, well, they taught me to be this way, it's in my DNA to be a snake, girl, goodbye. Tanika, let's talk about Tanika's response. Tanika's response to Crystal acting like a snake, trying to get business the wrong way after saying that her and Tiffany were not truly in competition. Tanika's response was, ladies, can we give her a round of applause because she comes from a family of beasts? Round of applause for what, Tanika? So then I love that Robin, Tiana, and Tiffany sat there and was like, no, we can't give her a round of applause. I would have looked at Tanika like she was dumb as hell too. Tanika, why are you? I need you to straddle the fence a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Tanika did a great job when it came to the Ready to Love reunion. But when it came to this, I was just like, I need you to be a little bit more, my name Benny, I ain't in it. That's what I need from you. So next, y'all, the whole last scene is talking about motherhood. And this is where I felt like these last two portions of the show turned into a woe is me fest. So number one, let's cheer for Crystal coming up with this beast answer to why she is a fake ass person. Okay, let's give her a hand of applause. So right after that, they go into talking about motherhood. Tiana explains that anytime she talks about motherhood, it's not to put down the woman next to her. It's because she carries it with so much pride that she is a mother. And she wants to know, is it that you don't want her to talk about being a mother? How do you handle talking about motherhood with people who cannot conceive? I don't know. And I love that instead of coming at this as a like so matter of factly, that's the issue, okay? During the season, people couldn't understand where Robin was coming from because whenever Robin spoke on motherhood and women would get emotional, Kiana, she would just be like, it's a fact, you don't have kids. What do you want me to do about it? Now, when it comes to the reunion, Tiana, she knew how to navigate. Tiana walked over to her, leaned down. Well, how do you want me to talk to you about this? How do you want to handle this? Crystal really couldn't give a clear answer. She's crying, I don't want you to hide it. I don't want you to not talk about it, yada, yada, yada. And that's exactly what Tanika wanted. Tanika wanted a woe is me moment for Crystal. Tanika wanted something to be kumbaya. But to me, it seemed like Tanika only wanted the women to see things through Crystal's point of view and not necessarily how the other women were thinking. So let me see. Tasia said, I never understood the mother shaming argument. Mothers do have their kids to worry about. I liked how Tiana handled Crystal. Yep, we're on the same page. I liked whenever Tiana did that because I'm like, you know what? The only way that you're going to be heard is if you act like you have some compassion for her. And you can have compassion for the fact that she can't have children, but then again, that shouldn't stop you from talking about your experience as a mother and things that you have to worry about on a daily. Like whenever Tiffany was talking about having anxiety, thinking that just because she didn't answer the phone for her son one time that he was probably dead somewhere, girl, that is something I could never relate to. So for that reason, I don't think that you should change the temperature of your conversations just because Crystal is around. We don't win a whole fucking season and Crystal has never once talked about her journey or her attempted journey at motherhood. This entire time was talking about Kiana. So I felt like Crystal was having that conversation on Kiana's behalf. Tanika did as well and tried to add some light to it. But all in all, y'all, the reunion was not given to me. Tanika didn't do what was supposed to be done. I felt like she was working too hard on the side of Crystal to make sure that Crystal was heard. Kira, girl, I wish that we would have felt your presence a little bit more because you was about as much there as Kiana was there. Damn shame. So that's all I have for Ladies Who List. It's about that time. It's time to go ahead and get into ready to love, y'all. Okay, I am about to get into it. As long as y'all do me a favor and like the video, because I know that this is the show that y'all have been waiting for. So go ahead and like that video, all 125 of y'all in here, and answer a question for me. answer a question for me. The question that I want y'all to answer is, was Joy tripping when it came to the elimination date between her and Demetrius? Was Joy tripping? Okay? Answer that question. All right, y'all. Y'all don't understand. This is hard as hell to do off of my phone. So for those of y'all who are not here from the beginning, I had some technical ass difficulties, okay? I was trying to go live on my laptop like I usually do. Laptop was dead. Trying to get a charge on it. I was going to be late. Then grab my phone, try to go on there, had to log into iCloud, had to get my notes. Then I had to go get a charger. This is hard AF to do off of my phone, but y'all, we in it. First Sunday back. Ain't nothing gonna hold us back. So my question to y'all before I had y'all like the video was, did y'all think that Joy was tripping when it came to the elimination date between her and Demetrius? Okay. Gigi says yes, she was tripping. Harold says no. Sierra says no. J-Dub says Joy came in too hot. Jillian says she was tripping. Sweet Feet says she was tripping as well. It's so funny to me because it's literally split down the middle. The way that y'all are talking about Joy is literally split down the middle. And I thought that we would have a more solid answer. Remy says she was a bit extra. Tyra says yes. Chantel says Joy peeped the bullshit. Nope. Wasn't tripping. Okay. All right. Lots of different answers. Hey, Sam. So, Alicia, there we go. Just the comment. Alicia says Demetrius shouldn't be sent to do anything. Tell me why Demetrius has been like Tommy's backup, in my opinion, throughout the show. Demetrius sent AP home. Demetrius, I feel like this is probably his second or third date sending somebody home, but we haven't seen him have very strong connections, and I don't know why. I don't know why they're only showing him do that. That doesn't mean that he's not dating, but they're not really showing Demetrius do anything at all. All right. So this week's task is for the men to go on a date with their backup plan. Now, some of these people were a little bit questionable to me, specifically speaking on Clifton. Y'all tell me, okay? I felt like Clifton's backup plan was absolutely going to be Carmen. Reason being is because he mentioned Carmen as his number one last episode. He also made Carmen a plate after talking about she had them baby Jesus contacts in. And he ended up taking Dakia as his backup plan. So does Carmen not fit into the equation for you? I felt like it was Joy, then it was Carmen, but then you ended up taking Dakia on a date. Two things, okay? Number one, him and Carmen could just be knocking boots. That's it. Number two, maybe he feels like it would be easier for him to take his third backup plan because then he wouldn't have to compete with who he already knew was his number one, which was Joy. Like, for example, what I'm saying is, if he would have took Carmen on his backup date, maybe Carmen would have thought that she was more important, or maybe Carmen would have been a little bit more aggressive with her pursuit than what he currently feels like dealing with, which is just Joy. Y'all tell me. But let's go ahead and go into order of events. This episode is a backup plan date. One woman is going home. So the men are tasked with figuring out who is it that you would want to date second, who's a little bit on the fence. So the first date that we get into is Eric and Carmen. Eric and Carmen is such an awkward looking couple, okay? Such an awkward looking couple. Whenever she hugged him, I was like, damn, they don't look good together at all. It's not even like a height thing, okay? It's just they don't go together. They don't go together to me. And what I got from this scene was, it's not an episode that goes by that Carmen does not talk about herself, that Carmen does not talk about how good she looks, that Carmen does not blow her own head up. It is just lightweight annoying to talk about and to see every single episode. Carmen talking about how she looked. She talking about how she knew she was number one. Give the girls the go ahead and send them out. Give the girls the eviction. And I'm just like, Carmen, this is the thing. Carmen is a decent looking woman. She's not ugly by any means. But Carmen's attitude overshadows anything that is actually likable about her. It's like, Carmen, if you would have gave us the chance to get to know your personality, that would have elevated your physical looks to another level. But just because every time we see you and you're always in the mindset of, I'm so much better than all of these other women, that's ugly. Very ugly. I just have to say that. Carmen is the only woman who, whenever we see her go on these dates, she is always comparing herself to the other women. Always. And it's annoying. And it's ugly. Okay? Just have to say that. Because the other women are not thinking about you that way, Carmen. It's giving extreme insecurities, but confidence. Fake it till you make it. So I'm just like, come on. Anyway, the other thing I didn't like about Eric on this date is whenever Eric was telling Carmen about his relationship with Dakia, to me, it seemed like he tried to downplay it just a little bit. He explained that Dakia leaned in for a kiss first, so he decided to kiss her. Why are you trying to play Dakia like that? Dakia has options. And if Dakia wouldn't have honed in on you so hard, Eric, after the first date, she wouldn't be pressed on you. I think that Dakia had the opportunity to date many other men on this show, but she just never honed in on one specific guy. So I don't know why Eric is acting like Dakia is more pressed on him than he is on her. He definitely downplayed this conversation with Carmen, in my opinion. And y'all tell me if I was tripping. Did y'all feel like Eric was downplaying his relationship with Dakia, or was that just me? I feel like he tried so hard to downplay it without being disrespectful, because he knew that all things being said could be used against him in the court of Ready to Love. So yeah. Okay, whatever. We're going to move on to the next day because I really ain't got nothing else for Carmen or Eric. So let's move on to Demetrius and Tina. This is one of the ladies who I had no idea that Demetrius was interested in. I think that this was one of those lower hanging fruit attempts. I think Demetrius has had his eyes set on Sabrina the entire time. I think Demetrius is one of those guys who does not like to work hard to date a woman. And because Tommy tasked them with finding a second option, Demetrius was struggling. And Demetrius was probably just like, let me not step on nobody's toes. Let me grab Tina. And I felt like this is what that date was, because he only wants Sabrina. And he knows that he doesn't have to work for Sabrina. It doesn't seem like he's doing anything to be Sabrina's number one, and Sabrina is still holding him as a top contender. So yeah, just like Tina said, I don't think Tina was wrong at all the way that she addressed him on this date. I think she was being very transparent, very obvious. Because if I was Tina and he called me on the date, I would have been like, boy, what you want? Boy, what do you want? Honestly, because you hadn't talked to her at all before. She was getting player vibes because it seemed like a lot of the women liked you. So she also felt like if so many women like you, either you're a great catch or you're telling them what you want to hear, which is very logical, okay? Which is very logical. So what is it about you, Demetrius? Because what do you want coming over here? You ain't talked to me this whole time. So he then explains to her that, I'm not doing nothing. I can't control who likes me. And he's not lying, because it is nothing. He's doing nothing at all for these women to like him. He's showing up bald, bearded, and like y'all said, looking like Funky Dineva's evil twin or brother. And it's just enough for the ladies to be like, oh, I like him. Dark skin, bald, bearded, military background, ain't got to say too much. It's something about like a quiet assertiveness that he has. He doesn't have to say anything. So he's telling the truth. He doesn't know why all the ladies like him. So he then clarifies, he says that, you know, y'all are petty as hell. Who was it? D-Dub. He wants eyebrows. You gotta stop. Oh my gosh, D-Dub. I can't unsee this. So now every time I watch the show, I'm gonna notice that this man does not have eyebrows. I can't. Anyway, Ian Major says that he is unappealing. Now, what I'm saying is, Demetrius, to me, I mean, he isn't really like that dude, but he checks the boxes for the women. So, anyway, he was directing what he wanted. He said that he was seriously here for love, that he wants a woman with her head on, he wants a woman to do this, this, that, and the third. They end up getting along towards the end of the date, but to me, it didn't seem like anything special. Demetrius says that he likes her, but let's be real, y'all. Demetrius does not like to work for a woman. Sabrina is going to be his number one. Sabrina, Tori, and Demetrius they're going to be the triangle of the season. And Demetrius is here until Sabrina makes her decision. Demetrius looks good enough for somebody else to hold his spot. Y'all understand what I mean? Demetrius looks good enough to where if he winks his eyes a little bit in the right direction, one of the women will hold his spot until he sees if he's chosen by Sabrina. Now, next, y'all, we're going to move on because that day really wasn't about nothing. Let's move on to Donovan and his 3 dates. Donovan is one that is slept on. Donovan is a handsome man, but he had his nose pierced. And y'all, that's just me and my assumptions and my stereotyping. I always feel like a man with a nose piercing knows that he's fine. And those are the ones that you got to walk with caution. So Donovan, we're getting towards the end of the season. This is another one where if he winks in the right direction, his spot will be held because he's a handsome looking man. And I think they did a good job casting people who look better in this season than in previous seasons. So we see Donovan going on a date with Dakia. I have no notes there because nothing popped off from Donovan and Dakia. Even after the dates, it didn't seem like he said very much about Dakia. He wasn't pressed on her. We see Donovan go on a date with Sabrina. They both get along really well because they're both from California. They both have been divorced. We find out that Sabrina's actually only been divorced for 5 months, but she's very much ready to move on after being in a marriage for 10 years. She says that she wants to date someone who she says that she wants to date someone who already has kids, or she prefers to, because she feels like once she has her family, they'll have a bigger family. So I'm like, okay, he already had, I think Donovan already had a kid. I think he already had 1 kid, and he's divorced as well after 12 years, 1 or 2 kids. So either way, it sounds like Sabrina is checking all of his boxes. But what he wants to know at the end of the day is there truly a chance for a new connection? Because he already knows that she's in this love triangle with Demetrius and Tori. And she says, absolutely. I think she was just feeling like Donovan was so fine. I think that Donovan might be her escape route, because instead of choosing between Tori or Demetrius, she could really just choose Donovan and be just as happy. So to me, it don't seem like she's pressed over either one of these men. So next, y'all, we see Donovan going on a date with Carmen. It's her birthday. Happy birthday. And, you know, Carmen's talking about how competitive she is. And I'm just like, that's not cute, Carmen. That's not cute. What did they say? Lions don't argue with sheeps. That's how I feel about it. I don't have to talk to you about what I bring to the table versus what the other women bring to the table, because that's a given. Carmen talks about that every second that we see her. So Donovan's saying that he prefers to have more kids, whereas Carmen says she strongly feels like she doesn't want to have any more kids at all. But if she's with the right man, then she would consider it. Now Carmen does the thing she always does, and she eats cake out of the man's hand, and she uses her eyes and looks at them deep in their soul, trying to seduce. Carmen, give it up. 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 It's looking tired. Real tired. Okay. So I have to agree with you, Kay. I think that Sabrina and Donovan do seem like a good match. It seems like they want the same things. It seems like both of their personalities are really easygoing. And I honestly see it for Sabrina and Donovan more than I see it for Sabrina and Tori, more than I see it for Sabrina and Demetrius. So I'm just like, I ain't mad at it. I hope that he's her escape route. So finally, y'all, the next thing that we are going to move into is the date between Dakia and Clifton. And this is what I spoke to y'all about at the beginning. This is so weird. Clifton told us last episode that Carmen was in his top. He also told us that he wasn't really into Carmen like that, and then all of a sudden she became his top. And then Carmen told us that they had been going on dates. We know that Joy is Clifton's number one. So why is it that you're on this date with Dakia? Now, if y'all weren't here, 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I was just telling y'all that it's probably one of two things. Clifton and Carmen are just smashing. Maybe. The second thing is that if he took Carmen on a date as his backup, Carmen would be more aggressive with her pursuit, which is something that he probably doesn't want to deal with. Because it seems like at this point in time, Clifton and Joy are masters of playing this game. Clifton and Joy are dating around. They're being friendly. They're getting to know people. But at the end of the day, they know what it is. This is what I ask people to do every time they come on this show. Don't come on this show and marry somebody out in week one. That's how you get set up to go home. And the only reason why those couples stay till the end is because they're friendships. It's because your homeboy don't want to send your girl home because he knows that you like this girl. But what's the reason of you being on the show if you've already made a decision? So I think that Clifton and Joy are doing this the right way. I don't think that Clifton actually has an interest in Dakia. I think Clifton is a very sexual man, which is why he entertains women like Carmen, who he really is not attracted to with them blue ass contacts. And I think that he wanted to see what type of sexual jokes he could make with Dakia. They had a good time, and I think that's just that. But at the end of the day, it's definitely Joy. So he feeds Dakia an oyster, an aphrodisiac. And he lets her know towards the end of the date that Antoinette, this might be right. Joy won't let Clifton date Carmen. This might be right. Because if they're both playing the game, she's like, nah, you got to take somebody lower than that. Don't take nobody second level on a date. Take your third and fourth on the date where this is just fun. And not the flea market contacts, Harold. Beauty supply store contacts. That's what it looked like. Latoya says Clifton is a charming F boy. I have to agree. You couldn't have said it better. He's charming AF. So towards the end of the day, Dakia, she calls out the elephant in the room. She says, I know you still have other connections. And he's like, don't get it twisted. I still got a connection with you too. And he lets her know that he is fair game. Clifton, you play this game too good. I can't even be mad at you. I can't even be mad at you. Because he wants Joy. Now, on the other side, J-Dub, you want to talk about that? Clifton has a 3-year-old at 45. And it was something else that was alarming. Oh, Clifton had a 3-year-old and he had been divorced. So I felt like the relationship with his, ex-wife was still very rigid. Okay? That's what we talked about like 2 episodes ago. It's something about Clifton where I'm like, he's such a nice guy, but you're freshly divorced with a fresh baby, because a 3-year-old to me is a baby. And you're probably still navigating the co-parenting situation. So I don't know. And you're right. They have made a pact to the end. They have, but they're still being entertaining for the show purposes. So I want to move on from them to, let's talk about his counterpart, Joy. On the other side of things, whenever I say that they've been good at playing the game, Joy started to show her slip this episode. Joy, you've done such a great job being accessible to all of the men, whether you like them or not. You've done a great job of networking. You've done a great job of showing that Clifton is your number one, all while making it seem like the other guys had a chance. Now, this time, this episode, when you go on a date with Paul, you gave him no room, no comfortability. You gave him no chance at all. And it was very clear from when you walked in the room. Whenever Joy walked in the room, she was like literally, hey! She gave him that homeboy laugh, homeboy hug. And she let us know in the confessional that the date was purely platonic. Paul is irritating as hell. So I can see why that could be difficult to do with Paul. But I don't think you should have revealed so much on this date, Joy. So while they are on the date, one of the questions that comes to mind is Paul ends up asking her, what made you so bold to kiss Clifton in front of everyone during Truth or Dare? And she said, bold? What do you mean? I've been dying to kiss that man. She said what she said. She said what she said. Joy made it clear that, you know, what do you mean? What made me so bold? Like, that's my man. And that's simply what she said. And I was like, oh, okay. So they both end the date very much knowing that the relationship is platonic. They're just friends. And like Tasha said, why is Paul still here? Why is Paul still here? Lower hanging fruit. Okay, this is my third season review on this show. I think this is my third season review on this show. Who knows? But every time you get to this point of the season, the lower hanging fruit, they're the ones who will make it to the very end, because there are women or men who are desperate enough to just simply make it to the end. They don't care if there's a connection. They just simply want to make it until the end. And that's it. That's it. He's been held up by women like Precious, and he's going to continue to be held up by women like Tina, because Tina wants to make it to the end. She hasn't came and had the chance to make a real connection. So that's the reason why Paul is still there. They do it every single season. Okay. Harold. Hold on, let me go ahead and pull up my emoji for this. Harold, he said, Paul has lasted longer than Corey on this last season, and that alarms me. This is what I will say. This is what this makes me think about Harold. There's honestly a difference between Corey and Paul. Corey, well, let me say this. There's a slight difference between Corey and Paul, but there's a huge difference between what we're seeing happen from this season and the last season. There are more men to keep the women occupied. And when I say more, I don't mean in quantity, I mean in quality. As far as looks, there's more men to keep the women entertained to where they don't have to deal with clowns like Corey, like Paul. And that's the reason why he's still there, because the women who don't really have top pick like Precious, or women who came late like Tina, it's easy for them to grasp on to Paul, and that's exactly what's going on. So that's that. She made it clear who she wants. Next, y'all, we see the date between Precious and Tori. Y'all, we're gonna talk about Precious and Tori. I thought that Tori looked good last episode, but then once I seen him this episode, I was like, nah, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no. Anyway, it's not like what I think of Tori matters, but I just had to make it clear it was a little bit of a difference this episode. So with the date with Precious and Tori, not only just the way, you know, he was looking, but the things that this man talked about on the date really just disgusted me. It really irritated me, because this isn't the first time that we've heard you talking about rearranging kidneys, Tori. Tori, everything is sexual with you. You keep talking about the kidneys. You keep trying to make everybody think you got a baby leg. You got a long hit her with that hammer. Yeah. I'm not believing it. And this date was nothing but an attempt at you trying to fuck. Okay? So, Precious, the other thing with her, they arrived to the date, her and her bayang, and her and Tori both take shots. You already setting the tone right there. We can't have a little cocktail first. I can't get me a little vodka cranberry, vodka lemonade over ice. We taking shots. We ain't got food yet. Okay. So, as the conversation gets going, Precious wants to know, with me and you, I want to know, are we better as sex friends, lovers, sex buddies? I want to know between me and you in my bayang. And that's where he starts talking about sex. He starts talking about kidney snatching. And then as they're having conversations about their relationship or what the status of their relationship should be, he calls over more shots. So Precious wants another answer. They take a shot. He leans over and says, "Oh, but you got a little vodka on your lip." Kisses her lip, and it was so awkward. I watched it twice. Precious didn't know if it was gonna be a smooch or if she should return for the. You saw her kind of go back, like, and then it was awkward. And as soon as that, it was like, let's go home separately. Okay. Precious knew what he was up to. She knew he wanted to smash, but I'm not sure why she opened up the conversation to being about sex in the first place, because it seemed like she was the one who was saying, are we better off as sex buddies? What do you mean better off as sex buddies? Have y'all already had sex? Are you letting him know that that's an option for him? Because she was saying that she hadn't been in a relationship for multiple years at a time, but she had only been celibate for 6 months. So I feel like she's been in situations where she had sex buddies. So I don't know. Were you letting him know that it was on the table for him to be a sex buddy, but you wanted to know what he wanted first? This was not it. This was a hot ass mess. Both Tori and Precious in the bang. And I was good on this date. No spark at all. Now, one of the dates that I skipped over, which was not really a big deal, was Laverne and Ace. Laverne, let's talk about you for a hot second. Laverne, the task this week was for you to date a woman who was your backup plan. You've let people know from the beginning that Ace was your Michelle Obama, your Beyonce, everything in between. You let people know that Ace was your number one. Why is it that you took her on a date during the backup date week? And then it seemed like the only thing that he did this entire date was, as soon as she said, "I love acts of service," he was feeding her. He was putting lotion on her. He was telling her what gifts he bought. He was just doing a lot. And I truly do believe that Laverne is different when he's with Ace. He's different when he's with Ace. The other thing that's more problematic to me about Laverne is this hate for Sabrina that he has. Let me know I'm not the only one peeping it. Laverne cannot stand the fact that Sabrina did not want him. Every single elimination that the men have had, he says Sabrina's name with a motherfucking passion. With a passion. Sabrina did nothing to you besides say that she didn't want you. So I think Laverne is doing what a lot of the other people are doing. I think he likes Ace. I think he sees that there's nothing wrong with her. She is peace. She is calm, as he keeps saying. But that's the easiest person for you to grab right now. So you're showing Ace who she wants you to be. It's something about Laverne. I didn't notice it before, y'all. I promise I did not notice it before. I thought he was a cool dude. I thought the ladies were tripping. I did not notice it before. Laverne, is something wrong with him. He's so full of himself. Just the way that, how can you have a hate for Sabrina when she did nothing but not call you back? Weirdo, okay? So anyway, nothing else happened beyond that date, but I'm really just wondering why you took her on a backup date. And in your explanation, you said Joy was number one, but Ace was number two. Not after you didn't called Ace Michelle Obama. How is it that Joy was your number one when you knew you didn't have access to her like that? Questions that need answers. So, y'all, we are back in the men's lounge, and Eric says that the tables have turned for him, that Carmen is his number one, just because she hit him with that. Carmen's his number one, just because her eyes hit him with that eating off the spoon. Now, anyway, Demetrius said that he had fun with Tina, but Paul feels strong energy towards Tina as well. Paul, you better, because without Tina, you going home. Donovan mentioned Sabrina, who he liked at first, but he said that he liked all of the women who he went on a date with. Next, Laverne says that Ace is his number one, even though he thought that Ace was his second choice. You're bullshitting, because you never said Ace was your second choice. You know that's the only way out for you. Now, he then says, my advice to all of the men is choose who you want. Choose the strongest connections. Don't be afraid to say it. And last week, y'all, I didn't think that Laverne was really being messy whenever he wanted everybody to play Truth or Dare. But now that he did this choose who you want, this episode, I know good and damn well this man is calculated. Now, because you got some shit started in the last episode, and you're trying to draw clear lines between who's choosing who, so that way you can make whatever move you want to make, you're trying to further add to the mess because you want to pressure the men into saying it is who they want. You want to pressure the men to take away some of the confusion. And I honestly feel like that's confusion for Laverne, because even though he puts all of this stock into Ace, I do think he really does like Joy, but he doesn't have access to Joy the way he wants access to Joy. So I think that there was an attempt at trying to find out where he could get in by making sure that all the men said who it was that they wanted. And Donovan said that he wasn't going to feel bullied into choosing one person when he only been there for 2 damn seconds. Demetrius spoke up on it. Eric spoke on it. We don't need no damn advice. And y'all are exactly right. So, as far as strongest connections, Tori and Demetrius, they're still feeling Sabrina. As far as who they're not feeling, a lot of the men are not feeling Precious. No surprise. We all knew this was going to be her week. Laverne not feeling Sabrina. Again, with his bitter ass because she didn't call him back. Paul says he's not feeling Joy. Eric says he's not feeling Joy because Joy has cut herself off from wanting to date other men on the show. Sorry, y'all. So now, y'all, we will get into elimination. Now we see Joy going on an elimination date with Demetrius, and y'all are killing me because just the dedication to these men acting like this was a casual ass date was funny as hell to me. Demetrius was like, yeah, I think it's something there. That's why I asked you on a date. Is it something there? Demetrius, you knew you had this date with her to let her know what the men concluded with, but you try to make it seem like it was an actual date. So anyway, Joy, she says, I gotta trust my gut. The feeling isn't there with you. She cut straight to the chase. I'm not feeling you like that. Not gonna feel you like that. That's that. And then Demetrius delivers the news to her that the guys feel like you've cut everyone off. And this is where Joy starts to turn it up. And she says, you know what? At some point, I'm about to wean y'all off. I want to focus on my strongest connections with an S. Joy, girl, just say Clifton, okay? Joy, just say Clifton. You ain't even got to play with us. But it's cute that you added an S to the end of connection. Anyway, she turns up and then she flips the script on Demetrius and she says, you know, what are you even here for? Do you even like anyone truly? Or are you just here to, what are you here for? I think you're here for the wrong reason. And Demetrius is like, yeah, I like people here. Yeah, I do. And he's like, what do you think I'm here for? And she said, I don't know, just to start shit. I think she started panicking because she thought she was going to go home. And I think she also knows that people can see what she's here for, which is just Clifton. She's done a great job playing this game so far. But like she said, she's tired. She's tired of entertaining other people. Because I think she was doing a little bit too good of a job entertaining people. When Tori was talking about rearranging her her organs or whatever, kidneys, she was here for it. When Paul was flirting with her inappropriately, she was here for it. When Laverne was flirting with her, hands behind her when they was at the clay making class, she was here for it. So I felt like eventually at some point in time, you'll be like, shut up. Shut up. Like, I can't even take comments from dudes at the damn gas station, multiple lame ass comments. So for you to go on all these dates, Joy, you should be tired. So I will have to say, I asked y'all at the beginning, did y'all think that Joy was tripping? Low key, I think she was. Low key, I think she was tripping. Just because I don't think she should have turned it on Demetrius. She shouldn't have turned it on Demetrius. So I was with her until she said that Demetrius was just there to start shit. Because Demetrius hasn't been the one starting shit at all. Now, for you to say that you want to focus on your connections, that's fine. For you to be tired, that's fine. But for you to flip it on Demetrius, I was like, damn, she getting nasty now. That was unnecessary, but okay. So I loved how Demetrius had her shaking in her boots. He was like, the men have determined. She said, wait 1 second. The men have determined that you are not ready to go home yet. And all of a sudden, she was good on it. But in her confessional, she said, sorry, not sorry. She didn't feel bad about it at all. So, answer to how I feel about it, I was with Joy until she flipped it on Demetrius. Because to me, I didn't think Demetrius did anything to her for her to say that he was just there to start shit. That was random as hell. And it just felt like she was coming for him. Next, y'all, we see Precious and Clifton on this date. Precious, Clifton, and her bang. And, she says that Demetrius is spreading a false narrative. I don't want to be in the club. I don't want to socialize with anyone. I only want to socialize with my man. She only wants to socialize with her man. But it's too little too late, Precious. You're not going home because people think you're a party girl. You're going home because people have other connections. You haven't made a connection with anyone. So she goes home, her bang. Next, y'all, what we see from here, was it a comment I needed to highlight? Okay. So next, y'all, we thought that was the end of the episode, but it's really not. It's time for the ladies' lounge. And we find out that there was an incident between Dakia and Eric. Y'all, I really hope this wasn't no Shiloh and Phil shit from last season, because we had the comment section split in half last season. I'm talking about if Phil was wrong, if Shiloh was right, this, that, and the third. I really want to know what incident happened between Dakia and Eric. I feel very strongly that whatever happened, Dakia is exactly right. I stand by Dakia. Okay, I don't even know what happened, but I stand by Dakia. Something don't sound right. Carmen immediately went into some sort of woman shaming where Carmen says, she was all up over him. So what happened? Carmen, the door is open. Dakia said, if you want Eric, you can go have him. So I cannot wait to find out what happened. And I think Eric was wrong for whatever he did. I don't know what happened. We're going to find out next week. Because whenever he was talking to Tommy, he was like, I feel bad that I hurt her feelings. You feel bad? Y'all, I can't wait to find out what happened. The other thing is that she said that she didn't want contact with him at all. So Dakia is weighing her options and deciding if she should pursue any of the other men on the show or if she should just be on her merry way. Damn shame, okay? But that's all I have, y'all. It's been a good, hour and 10-minute brunch. Good news, though, y'all. We're going to be back tomorrow because we are going to talk about Candy in the Gang. So I can't wait to talk to y'all tomorrow. With that being said, y'all, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Like the video, all that good stuff for me. If you haven't yet subscribed yet, go ahead, do me a favor and subscribe. We do this every Sunday. We grab our mimosas. We have a conversation about the TV show. And then I may see y'all the very next Monday. So I'm going to see y'all tomorrow to talk about Candy in the Game. Hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.